Hello, this is Caleb Trombley. I will be doing the narration for the Instagram and Twitter group project, which was worked on by myself, Christopher Rakapaz, Hannah Brown, and Alan Carrillo as well. So, our company that we are doing the presentation on is Delta Airlines, and we are analyzing their Twitter and Instagram presence. And start with the Twitter overview. They have 1.49 million followers on Twitter, 897,000 tweets. Of those, 1,930 of them are photos. So topics of the posts are typically news and information dealing with the airline industry. They do some tweets to raise awareness about sort of what they're doing with their corporate social responsibility. They do campaigns for holidays and events, like they had a Valentine's Day couple of tweets, as well as they partnered with a couple of artists who were in the Grammys and sponsored their work, so they did some tweets to raise awareness about that. And then they also highlight some of the competitive advantages of Delta Airlines. Something else that's really notable that I thought was kind of cool is they go through and they do some polling. So they do polls on what customers want, like for example, what kind of movies they want available on the planes. Their Instagram overview, they have 803,000 followers, 885 posts. Their content is pretty much made up of photos of destinations intended to sort of interest and persuade their customers to travel. They do a lot of posts of their own aircraft as well, and some photos and videos of sponsored content and partnerships. They usually use collaborative content creators by users or earned media. Alrighty, so the next step is going to be looking at week 1 and 2 of their Instagram presence. So for week 1 and 2, they did a total of 4 posts. Basically, they did destinations, they did 1 social responsibility post, and then also sort of some company-centric posts. You can see the number of likes that they achieved on those were 8710, so 8,710, 4,592, 8,366, and one that hit 20,975 likes. Number of comments are 409, 775, 115, and 282. On Twitter, they did 14 posts over those first 2 weeks. The kind of posts, they did some travel waivers for inclement weather, employee recognitions, last-minute trip deals, holiday special deals, and then sort of ethical mission statements and some motivational posts as well. They had a total of 19,340 likes and 4,800 retweets, so they're getting a pretty significant amount of interaction through those posts that they're doing. Alrighty, so for Instagram, weeks 3 and 4, they did a total of 6 posts. They did some international sort of city and village facts to try to raise some awareness for different destinations. They did motivational holiday picture posts. They did some international landscape pictures, facts, and then frequently asked questions. Total number of likes on those posts were 76,853. Total number of comments was 957 among all the posts. On Twitter, they did about 18 posts. They did some music recognition, so like I said earlier, they had the Grammys where they're going through and they sponsored a band. Travel waivers for inclement weather again, some historical employee recognition, so for Martin Luther King Day. They looked and they posted about a new airplane model that had been added to the fleet. They did some motivational posts, and then Association of Cities to celebrate celebrities and musicians. They had 7,515 likes throughout those posts, and total number of retweets was 1,473. Alright, so weeks 5 and 6, they did a total of 7 Instagram posts. So they did some international tourist attractions, new equipment, airplane introductions, employee and community service recognition. Total number of likes among those posts was 85,454. Total number of comments was 815. For their Twitter presence these 2 weeks, they did a total of 20 posts. They did some travel waivers for inclement weather once again, some cultural posts, airplane view pictures, new equipment introduction. They did some voting for what kind of movies to be shown in flights. They did more historical employee recognition, statistic awareness, company award, charity partnership, and holiday travel deals. These ones had about 1,507 likes amongst all of them, and about 9,535 retweets. Activity evaluation, sort of going through the basics of that. So basically, Delta's social media presence falls back on the 6 degrees of separation theory, which states as individuals we only have 6 degrees of separation from most individuals. So being involved in the travel business, they use their social media presence to try to appeal to those who travel, more particularly those who are out looking for adventures, new experiences, see the different sort of wonders of the world, just trying to learn new things. So their posts are sort of highlighting that. They do a lot of, as I said earlier, content that has to do with destinations, places that people can go utilizing their services. Alright, so for this next post, we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into their activity evaluation. So it's pretty common nowadays for big companies to try to partner with influencers, and Delta's the same way. So you can see here on the left that they partnered with a couple of artists from the Grammys. So basically what they're trying to do is, sponsor their work, utilize some of their fan base to raise awareness for Delta Airlines, try to get a following from these influencers following as well. Alright, so in this next slide we're going to be looking at the activity evaluation for their partnership and industry opinion leaders. A good example of this is the sweepstakes that they held with Oreo, as well as the Wall Street Journal just listed Delta as the #1 airline. So they're kind of a top industry opinion leader. Sort of provides two benefits, which includes brand positioning, sort of making them a premium brand, as well as providing the best service of the industry. So they made sure that they did some posts about that. Other opinion leaders feature Twitter and Instagram, include an article by Fast Company's Most Innovative Company Rankings, again doubling its brand and positioning strategy. Alright, so on this slide we're going to be looking at the branding and positioning strategy of Delta Airlines from their posts. So basically, all of their posts have some sort of Delta branding inside of it. They do a pretty good job of putting in their logo wherever it can really be. You can see, like for example, in the slide, you see the branding on the tail of the plane, and then branding on the hat, stuff like that, and the picture just below it. They always try to build it in a positive light. So they do this through positive partnerships, social awareness posts, posts of exotic locations. They often occur kind of simultaneously. They go through and build the positivity as well as providing the branding in there. In this case, Delta likes to position themselves as an airline which is socially aware, technologically advanced, and pro-employee. Alright, so the activity evaluation continued. So we're looking at their pricing strategy and social commerce. Instead of kind of promoting a social or a lower price, Delta focuses more on sort of their value-based strategies, branding themselves as the go-to airline for adventure and great times. They have a pretty diverse portfolio of posts depicting new and exciting events, occurrences, destinations. All airlines are susceptible to price deflation, considering there's a fine balance between sort of the pricing and the maintenance efficiency of keeping fully booked flights. It's not really Delta's selling point though. They're more going towards the value side of it. Instead of trying to fill the seats and cut costs, they're more in trying to provide the extra quality that's gonna in the end help the consumers be a lot happier choosing their flights than if you are sort of crammed into a tuna box, as you frequently are with other companies. We're going to be looking at their differential advantage. Delta uses several differential advantages, including their cutting-edge technology with heavy investments in the new research facilities. Additionally, they tout their recording of having more on-time arrivals, less canceled flights, more bags to their destinations. This is from Wall Street. This is from a statement to Wall Street Journal in 2019. Also illustrating their first place rankings across several various industry opinion leaders. Looking at the benefit segmentation of Delta Airlines. Benefit segmentation is basically creating groups of people who are looking for the same things from a product. So Delta Airlines does this. You'll see they frequently post pictures of exotic environments, new places with like culturally rich history, and a lot of times they'll actually have somebody inside of it with that super cool background. Helps the customers envision themselves there, living that experience with these spectacular backdrops, trying to entice people emotionally that that's something that they want to do, and that they can take Delta Airlines to get there, essentially. This slide, we're looking at some of the recommendations that we're making for Delta Airlines. We recommend that they continue to utilize their platforms to send the message of the traveling and exploration and help build themselves as a brand that helps people do that. We also recommend that they go through and they start gathering different collections of content from areas. So the reason that we're saying this is because we recommend that they do sort of a social media segment that's dedicated to like a specific region. So for example, they'll take a couple of weeks and they'll do like a set of posts that have to do with Asian destinations. Some of the benefits of this is, so by tailoring that content, they're going to be able to attract specific interested people, as well as persuade people to sort of consider areas that they might not have wanted to go to before, but just sort of show them how much is there. And I think this is pretty important because if you consider the fact that most people take a trip, like for example, if you're going to France, you're not just going to go to see the Eiffel Tower. Maybe you will, but I mean, you're already thousands of miles away from home. You might as well take that and continue your trip and go see some of these other destinations that they're highlighting. So it's sort of trying to sell the different benefits of areas. Continue with our recommendations for Delta Airlines. We do recommend that they utilize cross-platform communication, so links that'll take you from their Twitter page to their Instagram page and vice versa. Additionally, try to create unique content to both different platforms, so you're not seeing the exact same thing when you go onto both Twitter and Instagram. I know a lot of these heavy social media users will log in to Instagram, for example, and then go to Twitter next and see the exact same couple of posts from Delta, which I personally find to be kind of annoying. Continue to highlight their benefit segmentation, so continue to sort of build that brand image of being the travel company who provides value instead of economy. Then also offer rewards and perks, so create campaigns that are going to create large collections of consumer-created content and picture, and then offer rewards for certain individuals who meet the criteria. And also continue encouraging involvement by allowing customers to poll on what improvements are going to be made. So like perfect example is the movies, stuff like that, things that they can really get consumer insight and start to provide value that way for their customers. Alright, and this next slide is going to be all of our Twitter handles, Instagram handles, stuff like that. This slide is all of our references. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great rest of the semester and year. Thank you.